2.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Santa Boo's First Podcast. Tonight, we're going to talk a little NFL free agency. We're going to talk a little Sixers. We're going to talk the death of a franchise. Come on back. You're listening to the Santa Boo First Podcast. Boo, 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 boo.
It's so classic. I love that one.
That's one of my favorites.
That is
if
my
not
favorite.
the favorite.
That is my
it's just-
favorite.
It's classic.
It is classic.
What's going on, folks? Welcome to another beautiful Thursday evening here from beautiful downtown Willow Grove, the lovely Crack Belt Production Studios. You are listening to the Santa Boot First Podcast. I am your pilot for the evening. Pardon me. The beer's getting to me. Jim Marcus. To my left, we got Donald Kennedy Martin.
Hello
Good
there,
evening, Donald.
at least they're taking the elevator up.
I mean, yeah, it's just this brotherly love IPA. Victory, I love you. You make good beers, but this is making me belch a little bit, making me a little gassy, boys.
Like I said, I'm glad it's taking the elevator up. At least for now it is anyway.
For now, we'll make sure it stays there. To his left, taking the seat of the infamous one this evening, Brody Marcus.
What's up?
What's going on, Brody, man? You got the alfalfa. You don't know who alfalfa is. You got a big point at the back of your head because your
Wow. Look,
your headphones.
here,
To his left,
let me pull up a picture
He
for
doesn't
you.
know about Dodo, right? He doesn't know about
nah,
that
he's too
movie?
young for Little Rascals.
Oh man,
I heard of it.
You heard of it?
I've watched that
Deep
so
shame.
many times.
To his left, we've got Bob Harden. Bobby, what's going on, Bobby?
Death of a franchise. The
Damn
death
ready.
of a franchise, and I am pissed.
We'll get into it.
All right,
We will
I'm
get into
fired
it.
up.
Look, you got the black and orange right there, and your beer. Your beer is black and orange.
Black and orange. I'm mourning right now, and the black sweatshirt. So
It's not a good thing. To his left, we've got the youngest Martin, Andrew.
So
Sup? Keeping us live and on the air behind the glass, the man, Nate Money Moss.
You
Smitty couldn't make it tonight. He might jump on the live stream with us here. He's has dad duties. Sucks to be
Shocker.
The
him.
nerve of him.
shocker.
And I think I gotta point it out. There's somebody that's been missing for the last, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. Someone who's getting very in his feels, and wow, why us? We suck. It's no fun. DJ's just he's not feeling it. Tell him to come in. It's therapy. We got to talk about
this
these
is
things.
absolutely
This is what
therapeutic.
Philly is. Get used to it, buddy.
it's
You were spoiled for years. But,
That's
he's-
the crux of the situation. He was spoiled from an early age up until now. He's experienced nothing but winning for the most part. And by the time I was 25, there wasn't a whole lot of winning going on. There was a little bit, but not a lot.
I don't know. We won a lot, Deke, though. Don't you guys
Well,
feel?
the Flyers won. The Flyers
I
won
mean,
in the
not
mid-70s.
championships, but I mean, the Phillies went to the series. The Eagles went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Union went to. We've come up short every single time.
Right.
We've been
But that-
winning.
that
And,
takes a toll. That
and the
takes a toll on
Stars,
people,
too. The
man.
Stars lost in the chip.
But you got to look at the past, I don't know, 20 years, 30 years. You have no NBA championship. When was the last NBA championship?
83.
83. 83. The last Stanley Cup was
That's
74.
40 years ago
75.
this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then, your World Series you had in 2008, we went this year and lost. The Super Bowl, well, I mean, I think that's still fresh in our minds, that Super Bowl win. But because of the loss this year, it's probably wiped out. The mood's gone. And I don't know that I would sit there and get caught up in my feels.
He is. He's
But you gotta
definitely,
talk
he's
about
definitely
it, right?
crying in his pants. He's he's a little upset. He doesn't want to talk about it. But I mean, how old is he? 20,
25.
25.
Yeah.
Dude, we used to not be able to watch the Eagles games. They
I
were
know.
that bad. They
Yeah.
were
Because
blacked
they
out.
were
They wouldn't put
blacked
them on
out.
TV.
Yes. Yes.
So
But there is
I understand
success
we
there. I
get
get
there
it.
and we lose, but we got there, right? Yeah. So it's shout out to DJ for twisting his ankle like Kevin Durant, using that as an excuse for not coming in tonight. But he's really just sour grapes and isn't in a Philly sports mood. And now we got Brody's hair sticking up. Andrew, you probably got the best hair in the room.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry.
Come
bro.
on.
I'm sorry, bro.
Come on.
As AB called you, that Christopher Walken, man. You were talking about you needed a haircut.
Where's Pat Sweeney when I need him? And my luscious
I'm
hair.
sure he will agree. All right, we will talk more about the Flyers and the death of. Oh, before I keep going, our sponsors, Mamma Mia's Pizzeria. Tonight we had the buffalo chicken pizza, always a nice item, and the chili wings, always a fantastic item. Sweet chili.
Yep.
And a plain pie because we got to get a plain pie for those folks that don't like to expand their taste buds.
How much we pay tonight?
What are you,
I
12?
didn't send my money yet.
13? All right, at least you're still only 13 and not 40. How old, Smitty? 38, 39?
Is he under 40 still?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, I think he's 39.
Damn, and
So-
somebody in this room is only going to be under 40 for another day, apparently. Well, not in this room, but a voice that you just heard.
Yeah, on this floor.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Hopefully, by the time you're 40, you expand your taste buds a bit.
Hopefully.
Yeah, maybe
Dive into that buffalo
throw it
He
chicken.
could care less. What's that response was?
like he eats pepperoni, but he won't do a pepperoni pizza. It makes no sense to me.
That's fine.
Man of many words.
That's what Smitty said. He goes, "That's fine.
Yeah, right.
I gotta take."
Now you're
his-
taking the
I
you're
gotta
taking
take
this
his thing."
you're taking the Smitty seat. All right. Good play by you. Touche. Well played. All right, and our other sponsor, Pops McCann's Fine Whiskeys. Hey, it's March, the month of the Irish. Get yourself some whiskey. St. Patty's Day's coming up next week. Next Friday, St. Patty's Day. Reach out to Jason Fogg for some fine Irish and American whiskey, prohibition style, and bourbons.
Mhm.
All right. Free agency staring us in the face. Technically, it's Wednesday, right? But the legal tampering period starts Monday at Monday at noon. Monday at noon, we got it.
Yep.
Already seen some moves. A couple quarterbacks. We were in here last time. We were in here. We were talking about quarterbacks, and we were negotiating some deals. We were close. I think Carr, we had the 4 years, but we had him at like 135 mil, not 150. Anybody surprised that Carr got that? Yeah, we had him at 135.
I don't think so.
I mean,
what did he get?
he got
150 for 4 years.
yeah.
But what he got, like 100 million guaranteed, I think.
Yeah. And look, the Saints have a good nucleus to build around.
If you have Michael Thomas.
If you have Michael Thomas, yeah, that's well, Olave. If you get somebody, if Thomas goes, you still have a number one receiver,
You do.
right? He still put some pieces around him. Kamara, if he stays healthy,
He ain't playing.
you think he's going to get suspended for the?
Oh my God. Did you see
Yeah.
that video? Yeah.
I'm missing
See
all
the
these
Jamar
videos.
Chase thing too?
No, what happened there?
Now there's a story of him being abusive to his girlfriend.
Oh, what's going on?
Joe Mixon shooting an 11-year-old.
I saw
Steroids,
something going.
man.
I saw something going on with
Yeah.
Mixon.
Well, I think the Mixon thing, he'll be okay. They said that the kids or whoever came to him.
Hmm.
So there was, I mean, granted, they're kids, but I mean, the kids come and
It's
waving
still an
guns. What do you
11-year-old. You don't want to shoot an 11-year-old.
Did
what do
he
you want him
shoot
to do?
Did he actually shoot him? Right.
Apparently he hit one
He,
in the leg.
hit one in the foot, but they came with guns to his house.
Like
Wow.
with the John Morant story too.
Yeah.
Like what happened there that he went back into the house? Like
That-
he went after that was a 17-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And he went back into the house to get a gun.
Yeah.
Was a threat made? Was a comment
Yeah.
made? Like, am I
Well,
I'm coming
I
into
mean,
your
like,
house?
They make this much money. You think they'd be able to afford security?
Nah, you're not gonna have security 24/7 at your
I know,
house.
but,
You're not
like,
the president.
Still, like, you should be able to hold your own. You shouldn't need to go run inside and get a gun.
I hear you. The guns are a quick thing in society nowadays. I
You should be able to
get
defend the
that.
situation and the heat.
But sometimes there's no chance to defuse. It's either
Yeah, that is
it's
true.
going to happen or it's not.
It's kind of just like a bang bang situation.
Yeah, but like, if this kid, 17-year-old or not, is saying, I have a gun,
Mhm.
I'm
I
going
will-
in after
Yeah.
your
That's what I'm saying.
family.
Yeah.
Somebody says
That's
that
what I'm
about your
saying.
family. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, well, I'll
I'm
go
gonna
right get my
grab-
piece,
yeah.
and we'll settle it
Yeah.
then because you're not getting in there with my family.
Yep.
So I haven't heard all the stories around this stuff. Now, look, the next day when he's flashing his gun on Instagram,
Yeah,
that's just stupid.
Yeah.
That's just stupid.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any of you guys saw James Harden. He said on what show is he on with ESPN? I don't know.
Was it First Take? No,
I was going to say
No,
First
no,
Take, but I don't think it's
So
First
it's not
Take or
First
Pardon
Take.
the Interruption. I forget what he's on. But anyway, he made a comment about like this was him back in the day, right? This is the stuff that he went through. And he wishes, looking back at it now, like somebody would have told him, look, man, like I understand that you're upset in the moment. It is what it was, but then you made the situation worse by what you
Yeah.
did the next day,
Mhm.
right? And he's just like,
I think the same things happened back when you guys were kids. Just there wasn't that media reaction to everything where
yeah, there wasn't.
Well, back
there
in the
wasn't
day,
as
you
many-
could get a fair one.
yeah, like now like things are just so like in the open. Like you do one wrong thing, any
Well, it's hard to
The
hide
parents of
it's
those
on the
kids
it's on
saying,
Twitter.
like, you know, where are the parents out of those
Yeah,
kids too,
like,
going like,
yeah,
don't go near the house. Don't
Yeah.
go near someone's house. I know when I was playing on
Yeah.
someone else's property or I was, doing something on someone's lawn, my parents would be like, get the hell off their
Yeah.
lawn.
Mr.
Don't
Dunn.
go on their
Exactly.
property.
Yeah.
I was telling you on the ride, Mr. Dunn. We had a crazy old man on our block that used to squirt us with his hose. I was telling him on the ride up.
But I wonder how much of that has to do with the stress of playing in the NFL.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the CTA. That's probably what they're gonna say. CTA.
Well, and we were talking before the show.
I don't think he has that yet.
You don't, dude. Running back get knocked around.
They do,
hard.
but he's still fairly young.
But it's
doesn't matter.
it's also the background, man. That's where these cats come from.
yeah,
Yeah.
they do come
You know,
from
they
like
come
the
they come
trenches.
from some of them. A lot of them come. We were just talking about it, Jim. They come from broken homes.
Yeah.
They've seen trauma that you see on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, so some of these reactions that they see, that's the only reaction they
Yeah,
understand.
Probably, yeah.
You know,
That's part of what Jalen was saying too. Like, you got your crew that you with,
Mhm.
but at some point you got to look at these guys and say, "You're not holding me up anymore, man. You're holding me down. You're bringing me down. I'm sorry. You got to go."
you have the most to lose.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, you have
the
you're
money,
the
fame,
star.
fame,
Yeah.
recognition.
Yeah, you're the star, and everybody has. I think who was it Michael Irvin? It wasn't Michael Irvin. It was somebody like I think somebody on one of those shows, an NFL show. They said they had a fall guy. They had a guy who would take the fall if anything went down.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he was there for. You know, everybody in those crews need to understand their role. There's the star,
Yeah.
and then the people around them. Got to have a boy who's going to be right in your ear, and then you're going to probably have a guy who's not right in your ear. But yeah, no, it's bad because when, like you said, that's what you're talking about. You were talking about Players Tribune with Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley, yeah.
And his story about, I didn't even read it, but you were saying like his childhood was crazy.
Yeah.
Just the trauma that, like I said, the trauma these kids have, and they're 24 years old with millions of dollars.
And not knowing to do with it.
And not knowing what to do.
And that's his story too. He was saying, so his foot was actually broken, and he played the whole season on a broken foot. And then the whole medical staff for the Falcons were gone. And he felt like his body was broken. You know, he's going home. He had a home invasion, and it was on his wife's mind constantly. Like, she didn't want him leaving the house. So he said he just got into like a really bad depression. And then the game, he said, look, when you're like that, your mind's not working right. I opened up an account. I put $1,500 in the account, just figuring, sitting home doing nothing. I forget what else he said he was betting on, and he wasn't even intending to bet on the NFL, but he's like, my boys are playing. Let me throw a couple bucks on the Falcons. Not thinking of it, just thinking, I'm on FanDuel. What harm is this? I'm not playing the game. I got no inside information. I haven't talked to anybody on that team in 4 or 5 months. So I got nothing that's telling me to do this. And yeah, he put himself in a bad situation, got suspended for a year, which I still think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good article. If you guys got time to go read the Calvin Ridley article, it was good stuff. That's a shame the Eagles didn't pull that trade off, because he would look nice right now with AJ Brown and Smitty there.
They were showing highlights of him, man. Like, he's fast, bro. Like,
And he's healthy now.
He's fast. I didn't know he got the top speed like that. The Jaguars are going to be good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They're
that's
gonna
what
be
I was
good.
saying. They have
Yeah.
a young talent out
Yeah,
there.
they're going to be good. And you still,
And
that's
you
the
have
name of the game with the
WP.
rookie deal, Lawrence.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Lawrence. You got a rookie running. Well, not a rookie running back anymore, but what's he in his?
Etienne.
ETN.
Yeah.
But they're on rookie.
Yeah, they're on rookie
They're
deals.
on rookie deals.
coach down there.
Good coach.
Great coach.
Money to spend. They
Yeah,
apparently have a lot of
money
cap
to
space.
spend.
So let's get into that cap space. Somebody
Yeah.
had mentioned that'd be a nice landing spot for CJ.
What about Hargrove?
I mean, look, I don't think we're gonna. The Eagles. I think we're losing all three of those defensive players.
Yeah.
As much as I thought they would go after CJ, I'd want them to sign CJ. I think you're losing him. Hargrave, I thought was at the door. He's just going to make too much money. He's like the top.
Fletcher
Hargrave,
probably
yeah.
at the
Yeah, he's
door.
the top defensive player. He's going to get paid. You're not going to keep him. And Bradbury, I don't think they really were that. I thought.
Yeah, I thought CJ was going to get tagged, but also too, I think they're really going to miss Hargrave. How much do you think he's going to get? I mean, what do you think he's going to command on the market and what he's going to get?
What did he sign with his last contract
10
here?
plus a year, I think.
What was his average salary, though? I think those guys, he's probably going to come in like 18, 19 a year, I think.
Yeah, I think he was here for like 15 to 17.
I just don't want the Dallas Cowboys to end up with him.
Yeah.
That's my only concern is that they're going to look at that and be like, I'm going to grab him. And then he's in your division. You just see him twice. That
I
sucks.
think they need other help, though. Like
I think Fletcher's going to be
Yeah,
Fletcher's going.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Who do
They
you
said
think
they-
they keep? Here's the better question. We always talk about who they
Graham.
keep. Yo, who's going to stack?
Graham.
Looks like Graham is
Graham.
going to stay. They already offered him 2 years. 6
One out
I know.
I think
And they're
Cox,
all on defense. Most of them are all
I have
defense.
the list here.
Kelsey.
I think Cox is there's an outside chance he might stay.
There's
Yeah.
Yeah,
proven time
like a
and time
really
again.
shitty-
I
you don't
think
need it.
Sanders is gone. I think they keep Scott.
I think that
I
era
think
of
they keep
football where
TJ.
defense wins you a championship is kind of
What's that?
like that era of like defenses win your championships are like kind of out of there to win.
Yeah, you gotta
Because I mean, look at the
outscore your opponent.
look at the
now.
Chiefs. What they just did to us.
That's
They-
what this team is going to need to do.
They're-
We lose
they're-
all these players on
Their
defense.
the Chiefs
They're gonna have to
defense
out-
was just a bunch of
they're
young
gonna
role
have to-
players that were just good at each position,
They're going to have to.
average at best.
They
And
had a
they
couple
just-
good defensive
yeah,
linemen, but
but-
they didn't really come into play.
Yeah, but they're average at best to the secondary, and
Yeah.
they just outscore their opponents because of
They're
who
gonna-
their quarterback
Yeah,
is.
they're going to have to win track meets. What they're gonna have
And the Chiefs are good at
to
that.
do. Run up and down the field.
Yeah,
I
don't-
think
see,
the
I don't know
Eagles
if
can
they
do that. The Eagles can do that for a couple, not a lot.
So what do you
It
think?
depends on who it is.
Yeah,
Do you think they're bluffing when they say Gainwell's your feature back?
I don't think
because
so.
I just saw Sanders post something that he was in New York today.
And don't forget they have Trey Sermon too.
Yeah,
And
but
I
he-
mean, he's not great, but I think that's why they picked him up
He was
last
great
year.
at Ohio State.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. As much as I hated it.
You think he's you think he was picked up as an insurance policy in case Sanders walked?
I do.
I don't
I
know.
don't because I think they.
I think he was
Gainwell
just
in
ran
the
Then
back
why sit him the whole year and not play him? I don't get
They're
that.
probably gonna
Yeah.
run Gainwell Sermon
Because the
next
three were,
year.
I think the three were just better in
Yeah.
front of him.
Yeah.
They knew the system.
Yeah.
All those three guys have been here. For
Well, he's
a while.
a bigger back too. Right?
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
benefited from him playing. I mean, they,
Boston's a free agent too.
yeah,
So
I
if
think
both
he'll be
Boston
back.
and Miles
Okay.
go, then you're going to need somebody.
Yeah, I like Gainwell. He's-
I think Kane would be a good RB1.
I don't know if he can carry the ball.
Yeah,
I
was gonna
don't
say-
think he's gonna be over that utility guy where you just throw him out in the slot for a quick screen or something.
I think he's their lead back as much as this
Yeah.
team is going to have a lead back. I don't think this team has.
It's
It's
probably
not going to be a bruiser and a pounder
It's
and
going to
a
be
that
another
30
I
touch
don't
a guy.
think they really need one.
No, not many teams run that anymore. It's
Yeah.
Derrick Henry and Nick
another
Chubb.
Andy Reid. thing.
Yeah, you're
Running
gonna
back
have
by committee.
Westbrook, Buckholder, and
Yeah.
I think that's I
Yeah.
can't stand that.
but that's
it's
the way the
annoying.
game
That's
nowadays.
how
right?
Andy
I
just
know,
beat
but
us in the
you need to
Super Bowl.
have at least one. It can't just be Gainwell. Is my point.
Yeah,
I think Scott comes back.
Andy's won what 3 Super Bowls on the running back by committee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they have Mahomes.
yeah.
And,
that's
I mean,
tough.
yeah, Mahomes is
tough.
there, but like,
You,
That's-
you can have Jalen Hurts running the ball at the rate that he was running this
yeah,
year. I can't do it. You're going to get him killed, and you're gonna invest in this guy, pay him big money,
yeah.
and then you're going to make him run.
You're not only going to get killed, you're also endangering his future like, NFL like football career by doing that because he's only 3 years in the league, 3 years in the league.
This-
So by running him running like he's gonna run him into the ground, his legs are gonna be shot by year 5, maybe year 6.
I don't,
Arms
I
look
don't
like
think they'll be running with him as much this year. With what's his name, Ryan Johnson. offensive coordinator now.
Yeah,
They
I
have a
think
good relationship. I think he'll be tell him what he really wants the play call to be like.
yeah.
Yeah, but you gotta make sure you have the personnel to do
Yeah.
that. Right? Like you can say all he wants, I don't want to run the ball, but hey, Kenny's not getting it done. Ball's not getting it done. Guess what? Tuck that ball and run. We need to get some yards. I would love to see the kid from Texas, Bijan Robinson.
They
Yeah.
should have him
So
go
we're not
high.
taking him. Yeah, we'd have to take him at 10. And I don't
Yeah.
and the Eagles aren't going to take
They're
him at
gonna
10,
be-
but
they're-
that would be
I think the Eagles
great. You got
Yeah, I like corner too.
that's
safe.
probably
I think
what you
those picks are going to be dedicated.
Well, you know what
defense
Howard's
if they
gonna do?
use them.
yeah.
You know what Howard do? Outsmart everyone, take one of the top linemen at 10, and then wait what? Will be 30,
31.
31 to take
30.
It's 30. Yeah,
30.
it is 30.
30 to take a state. He's gonna do
I
that.
think-
So he's gonna do something stupid, you know.
That's my fear.
No,
He's gonna
I think it might
take-
be
He's
the
gonna
other
go
way
back to
around.
how
I have
He's gonna go. He's gonna
Bob's
go.
coming to my side.
He's gonna go lineman. He's either gonna go O line or D line, and then safety or cornerback. I know he's gonna do something stupid. Or he's gonna be like, I can get the guy in the second round. Why not just wait till
So
the
you think
second
he's going
round?
to
overthink
overthink it?
everything? Yeah.
I have a little more faith in Howie than I used to as far as draft is concerned.
I don't.
He's done better.
He drafted
Late.
Jalen Rager in the first round. Like I got the dude in the round 5.
I know. Well, he shouldn't have been drafted. Period. I found out. I think he's going to. I think he'll figure something out. He's either going to make moves or he's going to draft something that's going to be used.
I think that's it right there. I don't think he's going to. That's why I said if he used both those picks, I think they're going to go on defense.
If
I don't
he's
think he uses
smart,
them.
he'll
I
draft
think he's
a
going to
lineman.
trade them.
You think he's going to trade him? Yeah.
One of them,
If
yeah.
he's smart, he's gonna draft the D lineman in the corner of safety. That's what. But
That's what we need. I
he
think
won't do that. He'll go. Apparently, he'll probably go offense first.
Yeah,
I
but
don't think so. I think they're going to go defense.
yeah,
I don't think.
Defense.
Yeah, I don't think they go heavy offense. Maybe an
I mean, they
offensive
get
lineman.
Sanders in the second round. Running backs.
Yeah, well, that's just it. They don't have those middle round picks. They
Unless
have
they
up front
trade for
and
him.
the back end.
Unless they trade for him.
Yeah, unless they somehow package those later round picks, move up into a mid round.
I
Try and
think
get
there's
it.
all
the
this love
Rams.
now for
At least we're not
these
the
quarterbacks.
Rams.
So they're like now you're here maybe 4 quarterbacks top 10.
Yeah, there's
If that's the case, that means there's a lot of good players dropping,
At
and I
10,
see
yeah.
Howie trading back to like 15
Mhm.
and picking up an extra second or an extra or a third. I can see that happen.
What do you draft Jalen Carter? Would you draft Jalen Carter?
I-
if he's there?
It's a good question, and it kind of floated around our
I think
chat
he gets taken
last
high.
week. Well, he would have got taken out. He's probably
Yeah.
the best pure athlete and best player in the draft.
But he's not. He's
But
that's when
with
he
the
goes
legal
quarterback.
issues he's got,
I
he's-
think it
yeah,
all
I don't
depends on
think
his
he's-
legal status,
He's
where
a
he
lineman
stands.
from Georgia, right?
Yeah,
lineman.
he's the D lineman. Look, if he were to fall to the Eagles at 10, he would be a steal at 10.
Absolutely.
Don't worry
Jordan
about
Davis.
the legal issues.
Jordan Davis was a what? 10, 15. You got him.
Last year,
Yeah.
yeah, he was top 15, I think.
Yeah, I know that. I'm trying to think of where. It would have
I
been
felt like it was
We
like
got him
13.
13.
13.
That's
or
just
13.
That's where we got him.
All right.
I know it was in the double digits. I know it wasn't.
Yeah.
I know it was 10 or higher.
Not to put him on the spot, but Brody, what do you think?
I just don't think that's. I mean, yeah, he's a good player, obviously. Like that is a good value for him, but I just don't think that's really the most important need on the defense. I think I still take a corner. That's
I mean, I know there's good safety out there. That's good. His name's escaping me right now.
There's like
Branch.
3 corners that
Yeah,
you
so
can
yeah.
get. There's Joey Porter, Witherspoon,
Oregon.
and the kid from Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Gonzalez.
one's the best out of the three?
I like
Porter?
Witherspoon.
Well, there's having the best.
I think
Probably
it's Gonzalez.
You
Well,
think
the
Gonzalez is
biggest-
Yeah.
the
Because he's got the
biggest-
size. It's the size.
Is there-
Witherspoon is a little bit smaller.
Wow. Spoon was the biggest
I think
man,
Gonzalez is almost.
I think.
I thought Porter was the bigger of the
Well,
three.
no, Porter's the
Who's
biggest of all of
safety?
them.
Who's the
Okay, yeah.
safety coming out of
Branch
Branch.
from Alabama. But
That's right.
when you got to think, Andrew, when you take a safety that high, like he's
you-
got to be
Yeah,
good.
he
Yeah.
has to be like the next, like the Brian Dawkins that we
Yeah,
need.
like
I would-
He's got to be good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind taking one of those corners at 10.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind that. Or there's the kid from Pitt, the defensive end that people are falling in love with right now. He's undersized.
Defensive tackle guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's an end, isn't he?
No, he's a tackle.
Does he play the end? Because
Yeah.
all the highlights I've seen, he's like busting around the end. Because if they're
He's
saying
like a 4'6".
they're saying he's
fast.
undersized, but he just
Yeah.
his first step, he just blows by guys.
He's
and
one of
you don't
those
know.
tweener guys. Like he
Okay.
can play inside and out.
And that's, I mean, if you're talking about possibly BG, whether he comes back or not, but you know how the Eagles like to rotate. I would love to take him there.
You
They're
think
not taking a linebacker.
Yeah, I don't think they are.
They don't take
No,
linebacker,
they
they don't
don't.
run it back.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
value them that high.
Yeah.
And honestly, they don't really value the corners that high either.
No.
I mean, the last time they did that was the Lido year, right? When's the last time they drafted a corner in the
Well,
first
Sidney,
round?
I guess
Wasn't
Sidney
Avant-
Jones. Well,
Avante-
first round.
Yeah,
Sidney Jones
Sidney
was
was-
second.
And that was
Avante
kind of
was what? What was Avante? 3? Right? He was. I know at the end.
Maddox. I thought he was like a third rounder.
Yeah, Maddox was in the first round.
Yeah.
He was kind of like
I
a
know he's like a
developmental
middle of
guy.
the pack guy. that they took.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's another Pitt guy.
He's not that bad. I mean, they had
Yeah,
him
I
out
think
of
you're right,
position.
Lito. That's probably
I think that's the
Yeah.
last time they drafted
yeah.
a corner high.
I think Maddox isn't bad. He's at least we have him and Slay coming back. Toast right now.
Slay might not be back.
They're restructuring him, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then what's this talk for Ramsey?
I hate that talk.
I don't
don't
want
like it
Ramsey.
either.
Ramsey's
He's not
he's
coming
nothing
in.
but a tool.
I think
He's in the tail end of his career. He's just a hothead.
I think that's just talk.
He's just an ego. Correct. I mean, that's all it is about him. He just talks crap to people on the field. He can't back it up anymore. He gets
If they
one-
get him, then Slay's gone.
Can you put him at safety?
no, because he's rather play on the ball. He's better on the ball, but he's not as good as he used to be.
I mean, Slay has a year regardless.
Yeah,
I think
Slay's here.
I think Slay said that on Twitter that he's going to be here for at least another year. Whether they restructure him, extend him, whatever that looks like, who knows? But he'll be here for.
Well, they had their
year.
slot and lockdown defender. Slate was until he just got exposed.
Well, long before the playoffs, his second half of the season
It was
wasn't all
bad.
that.
Yeah, it was
And
bad.
he just fell off. I don't know what
mean,
happened,
his-
but he fell off.
John, CJ didn't get paid somewhere. He had a career year with us.
They all had careers.
Yeah, they're all
yeah.
going to get
And-
paid.
and
All the
I-
free agents are going to get paid.
I
so.
said to Smitty, going into the season, I think the secondary was right? We weren't real confident in it after what we saw the year before. And Bradbury turned out a good year. CJ came in here. You didn't know. I mean, that was
Well, we knew
that was like right before training camp, right? When they made that
we
trade.
knew what CJ could do. It's just,
Well, I was
it's
gonna
just where were we going to put him? He rather, I think, he was a cornerback.
He was a late trade, right? He
He
didn't
was
come in
like-
closer to the beginning of the
Really,
season.
yeah.
I was going to say we knew what Bradbury was because he had not last year, but the year before he was
The Giants.
a Pro Bowl the year before.
And we saw him
Yeah.
3 times a
And
year.
he stunk. The Giants were willing to let him go.
Yeah, wasn't he injured last year with them?
I don't know.
He
Just didn't do
there was
good.
other stuff that they did with him that I guess they didn't like, and then they cut him at least on this end of last year. We signed him. CJ was a
Trade.
preseason pick, I think, or not
It was a
pick,
trade, yeah.
preseason trade that we got, and then they just threw him to safety, and he turned out to be better there than he was quarterback.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. If they do bring, is there any chance that you see one of those defensive players, one of those defensive free agents come back on an outside chance?
I would focus on CJ.
Yeah,
He's the
that's
one
what I
that, like,
think.
if you're,
But
I
all
take
the stuff
CJ
he's-
over Bradbury, and I think that Hargraves is just going to be too much with what this team's looking at, who they're going to have to pay. I don't think he can
Yeah,
afford
You're
him.
not- you have to pay Jalen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You have to.
Well, not yet. I mean, he's still on his rookie contract.
You got to
No,
pay him
you
this
gotta
year.
pay him.
I mean, I
This
think you
year,
got-
you think?
I think so.
If not, it'll be 50 to 55 million. He's going to
Listen.
make almost $50 million a
He
year.
is, but
So I have the Eagles have been known to wait out contracts and say, hey, look, he's still under contract. I have a strange feeling that they might be trying to put something together, but because he got burnt on the Wentz contract, it wouldn't surprise me in the least. Now, if this happens, it's not good. But I could say, you know what? He had a career year. I want to see it.
Playing, you're rolling.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I
Yeah.
can see it happening.
I can
because
see it being from what happened. I agree. That's why I don't think he's going to do the long term
And it
deal.
depends on how it's really all about the team and not like single like individual awards. He won't take 50 mil a year.
You guys got to stop.
Yeah, you guys got to stop with that. Yeah.
He's not.
He earned the money.
Yeah,
He's
a
a-
team friendly deal is like, all right, keep an extra 2. Don't give me 55. Just give me 53. It's not going to be like,
Yeah.
give me what did Daniel Jones get? 40. Give me 42. It's not going to be anything. You look at Daniel Jones and go, I'm at least 10 mil better than that guy,
Yeah.
right?
With that being said, I do think Lamar Jackson is pricing himself out.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's got to, and I think the tag that he has, he's only going to play for 32, 32.5, I think it was. But I kind of like what Baltimore. Yeah, only 32.5.
Yeah.
I kind of like what Baltimore is doing. They're like, go find a market. That's what they're in essence saying, right? Because teams can come in and make them an offer, and Baltimore can say, okay, yeah, we'll give you that, or we'll give you that. Add 5 to it. Because we do want you to be here. You have been our franchise. We want to show some faith in you, but we don't want to set the market.
But it's funny how the all the teams that were interested in him now are all
Out.
poof, gone. And
But who's putting that out there? This time of season, is that well, he doesn't have agents, right? So is it the rate putting it out there? Yeah, nobody's
so
interested in you.
I heard there's a little kind of back end and forth with that. So for another team to sign him, they have to do all the paperwork. So other teams are looking like at the Ravens are like, we're not doing the paperwork.
Yeah.
We're not putting a contract together for you. Kind of figure it out. So it's kind of like a win-win. I think for both sides. Lamar is standing his ground as he should. I know everybody's seen the numbers. What is he? 45 and 17 regular season, unanimous MVP. He's great in the community. There's really no reason why he shouldn't get paid. I think they put a stat up that Tyson Hill has made as much money as Lamar Jackson.
what?
Yeah,
He
in the 5 years.
tagged. He got tagged twice.
Yeah, he got tagged. So, I think what Lamar's doing is the right thing. Maybe not the right way in terms of representation, but I think what he's doing is correct. And I think what the Ravens are doing is correct too. All right, you think you're worth this? Okay, let's go see. Prove it.
Is he an unrestricted free agent?
It's an exclusive tag
Yeah,
or a
it's a
non-exclusive tag.
Yeah.
The hell is that?
Which means any team in the league can come and say, "Yeah, we're going to give you this," and then the Ravens have the right to match it, beat it. If they don't, they get 2 first-round picks. So that's what we're saying. Like they're
Wow.
telling
From
him
that team?
from
Or
that team.
from the league?
From that team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're telling Lamar, go find your market.
But look, but I would give up if I didn't have a quarterback. I would give up 2 more.
Yeah, if you're Atlanta, that's
So
I heard that yesterday. Like,
Apparently Atlanta dropped out of it already.
Yeah, because of
Yeah,
that.
Foles
They
had it.
all
Could you
dropped out.
Could you
All of them
imagine him
dropped
in
out.
Washington?
Washington was gone.
Can you say collusion?
Like,
well, I mean,
Washington
yeah,
would
With
find a
a
way to
capital
lose,
C?
can it was it the NBA or the NFL that do like the poison pills in the contract where it was like they put some type of clause in there where it was just ridiculous, where the other team just like I can't match that, because I can't, and they're like, all right, well, looks
Or
like
even,
we're getting your player then.
Seattle has 2 first-round picks.
And there's talks done.
Yeah, but they just paid Gino.
Would it give so?
Yeah.
Why, Gino? Give me Lamar. Could you? Just
How
think
much
about
is dead cap space though? After that with
think
Gino?
about Lamar on
And there's
Seattle.
talks of
Like, that'd
Seattle
be
still
scary.
taking it.
Yeah, well, Gino's only at 3 years.
Just stop.
I'm
He's
sure
only
there's
a-
a way to get out of it.
He's
He's
pushing the
going-
gap.
He's just
he earned
he's
it.
just a guy to hold over them. Hold them
A
over till they
team with a
find
lot of
another-
money
till they
that
find another.
seems like it would be good for Lamar's Detroit. It's another team here out there.
Miami, maybe.
Who's the? Oh, who the hell's Donald Martin?
That's DJ.
Yeah, I was about to say. That's what I was
Yeah.
about to say. Donald Martin. What the hell is that?
He's set to come in studio with us. He's gonna make comments the whole
You
time.
mean did it?
Ravens podcast.
Yeah.
He's a troll.
He is. But Howie's got his work cut out for him.
He
Yeah, for sure.
most certainly does.
Leave it at that. If we'll make a prediction, right? Because this time next week we'll get started. Are the Eagles making a move in first week of free agency? Will they have signed a free agent? I'll put it this way: will they have signed a free agent by this time next week?
No.
No,
That's not including our free agent or just
any free.
I'm
I
gonna say
think
no.
I think they'll
It could be a
will
punter.
have signed at least one.
At least one.
Yeah.
I don't think they have any money to do it to
I'm not
sign
saying-
anyone in the first wave. So I think if they don't sign one of their own, they're not signing anyone.
Well, I don't know how it works, but I think those contracts come off the book of the free agents. I think. I don't know because remember, like, when's the new year start? The new year starts.
April.
Oh, is it April?
I think so.
Yeah, because like Cox has 14 million on the books. You know, whoever the big bad raise. So yeah, I'm not sure how that. You're right, Bob. I'm not sure how that's gonna work.
I think it's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be a very interesting offseason for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, the Eagles have lost one of their free agents by this time next week.
Yes,
Yes.
many of them.
Gardner,
Garner.
Yeah, they're
I
going.
think Hargrave.
I think Hargrave gets signed
They
pretty
they
fast.
will. What do they got? 20
You say who? What do we mean?
free agents, something like that.
I know it's 9.
They
starters.
they will lose the majority, the overwhelming majority of their free agents.
Yeah, the top guys get signed pretty fast.
Yeah.
And we have all 3.
Yeah.
We have the top even on the market, we have the top corner on the market, and we have the top safety. And they would get signed pretty fast.
Yeah.
They're all record deals.
Outside of that, it's quarterbacks. Wide receiver free agents aren't really that sexy. Saquon got tagged. Jacobs got tagged. So there's not really any exciting running back free agents. I guess you want to call. Maybe Miles moves to the top of that list then with the other 2 guys tagged.
What are the odds he comes back? None. 0.
I don't think it's 0.
You think they might go back to the Eagles and be like, "Hey, look, I understand team friendly doesn't mean like have like 25 million off, but do you think there's a Sanders Eagle goes out, look, see maybe some of these free agents, maybe all of them do. They kind of see what it's like, and they're like, yo, like what can you offer?
Sanders wants to get paid.
He said he wanted to stay in Eagle.
He does, but he
Everybody
still wants
says
to
that
get
while they're
paid.
here. You're not gonna
They
you're not
wanna
gonna
get
tell
paid.
your I
You're
can't
not
wait to
gonna
get out of here.
Yeah.
You're not gonna tell them that. Oh, I hate it here.
Like I think they would give him like 5 to 6, maybe 5 to 7 million a year, and he's probably looking for 10. And he's got every right to. Like look at the year he had. And we didn't give him the ball. That's the crazy thing. Like there were games where we took him out. Like he probably should have had like 1,500 yards, like 15 to 16 touchdowns. If we actually gave him the ball more.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So, and I think that was kind of by design too, a little bit, kept him fresh. And he just wouldn't have blown up. I mean, he's top 5 in rushing this year, had over 10 touchdowns. So, I mean, he's earned the right to ask for 8 to 10 million a year. And you already know about running; they don't last long.
Yeah.
So them boys got to get paid when they can.
Yeah, that's why I don't think the Eagles are like, we'll get another one in the draft. We're like Kenny. We'll run with Kenny. We'll draft another guy in the what it would say.
Now where he goes, I have no
5th
idea.
round.
Yeah,
We got a first, a second, then we go all the way to the 5th round until
Yeah.
another pick.
I think that's what you're going to hear at the end of free agency the first week is we didn't sign anyone. We drafted last year. We're building a young team, and I think that they're going to continue to build it, through the draft. And I think that's what you hear. They do have young guys in waiting at specific positions.
They're going to have to live off the draft for the next several years because that contract for Hurts is up a lot of cap space. They're not going to have money, not as much money as we pay until the cap goes up to sign free agents or the top tier free agents. They'll get usable play, but they're not going to get top level free agents.
You're saying that Howie's got to earn his money draft day?
Yeah, that
Got to keep
That-
drafting those young
yes, yeah.
impact players?
Yep.
I was thinking that today, Jim. This guy's going to make a mistake, or he's going to go back to the old Howie. Something's going to happen.
It's hard to make a
Just a
mistake
feeling
at
about
10. It's
No,
hard.
it's-
He's done
it's
it. He's
very
done
easy
it.
to.
But
His name's Howie.
People forget about that Jalen Hurts when we got him in that draft. How bad that draft was. Not one person is still on the team from that class except for Jalen. Like, imagine if Jalen's not a top 3 quarterback
Yeah.
and he's like mid, maybe Birkin top 10. How bad would that draft have looked?
Bad.
It would I mean, I think Kayvon Wallace was in
I
that
was going to say,
draft.
isn't there like a late guy
Kayvon,
that's still on the team?
Jack
That's
Driscoll.
crazy.
Was that the Watkins?
Jack Driscoll.
Oh, you got it on your
Watkins,
phone. Who's in that
Driscoll's
draft,
on a team.
Brody, man?
Quez, yeah.
Watkins can go.
I
That
could go
dude.
in order.
Yeah, go in order, Brody.
Right, Hurts, Davion Taylor. He's still on the team, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if he is.
David Taylor's not.
I don't know who that is.
Kayvon Wallace,
Linebacker.
Jack Driscoll, John Hightower, Sean Bradley, Quez,
Bradley's still here.
Prince Tego Wanago, and Casey Toohill.
Trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside of Hurts.
Yeah, like and you hit a home run with
Driscoll's
Hurts.
okay.
You hit a home run with Hurts. If you think about it, you got your franchise quarterback in the second round. So if you don't get lucky there and Hurts doesn't become what he is now, oh man, y'all
Still got
ready to
Carson
wring
Wentz.
Howie's neck right now.
And
That's
nobody
Super
knew
Bowl.
what Hurts was going to be either at the time.
Not this,
No, nobody expected this quickly.
Except Smitty.
except for
Except
Smitty.
for Smitty.
Yeah, except for Smitty. And
he-
everybody else who's a Hurts fan.
And he was drafted more as an insurance policy against Wentz getting hurt than as the taking over for Wentz. You know, he was. I think he was drafted to be the backup, not to be the
I
starter.
think he was drafted as a backup. I
He was
think
a project.
partly drafted because they didn't want to see the Cowboys go after him.
Yeah.
Well, Howie made sense. I think they said over the last couple of years, our starting quarterback did not make it through the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it did make sense at a point. I mean, honestly, I think we got lucky. I really do. I think we got. I think we got lucky. And the kid, they saw the specialness in the kid, and I mean that's what you got the guys who draft for. Because Doug did it, right? It was Peterson, right? Peterson was still here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had a head coach who was a quarterback who knew what the makeup looked like.
Well,
Right.
here's a question about Hurts. That's before the season started last, I was looking for improvement from him to be over the top. I love the kid, love everything about him. I was arm and the decision making was what held me back. He blew those two things out of the water this year. He made so many strides in those departments. It's ridiculous. Can we expect the same jump forward, the same leaps overall from this guy
Well,
this year?
How much more can he?
Yeah. What's his ceiling? How much better can he
He's
get?
got room
Said he
for
doesn't
improvement.
limit him.
Yeah, that you can say that, but can you back it up?
I don't know if I can answer that because, what I do see from this kid is that he goes back. I think I read an article that he in the facility at 6:30 a.m.
Yeah,
He leaves at
yeah,
9:30 p.m. So the kid has a lot of poise. He seeks improvement. He's been in 2 different college teams and brought them to the top and led them to the top. So I think this past year was a very high ceiling. Can he match this year? I think that
an improvement.
if he does, I have high hopes. I have really high amount of confidence that he can.
Here's another question: can he maintain what he did this year?
Well, then
I
that's
think-
elite status.
I
in my
don't think he makes a leap. And is he stays the same, but he's just gonna be hungrier, pissed off, and just gonna go win MVP and win the Super Bowl.
He's got to be Russell Wilson to me.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make like those big leaps as he did this year because there's
Yeah.
nothing he can do.
Right. They were so huge.
Yeah,
And-
it's just maintaining that same level of skill and working on what he's already
And
has.
I'm talking about prime Russell, not Russell.
Right.
Like-
of
like-
course.
like, yeah,
of
like-
course.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised to see Russell have a great year next year with a real quarterback, with a real coach.
Yeah, no, I
Because
wouldn't
of the
either.
quarterback.
When I see Hurts, I think his ceiling or where I think he's almost at prime Russell now. Pretty much is. Kind of.
I would be thrilled if we have prime Russell.
And the question is, can he sustain that?
Yeah.
I
over
think
time.
he can. It's just will he make as big as a jump as he did?
Yeah.
from
As
from
long
last
as they
year to
keep
this
that
year?
line stout and they keep those weapons around him, I think he has. I definitely think he
What
has the
one thing I think Al is
talent
good
to
at
do
is
it.
drafting offensive linemen. He knows how to draft good offensive linemen.
Did you say stout purposely there? A play on words?
No, that was not a play on
That
words.
definitely was. It definitely was.
But now that you say that, yeah,
Stout
okay,
with
I'll take
University.
credit
But
for it.
I will say that there's this conversation between someone I know and other people that is he elite quarterback, and I held back from saying that this year because I think elite is holding a sustained amount of success over a period of time.
Mhm. I
And
agree.
I think he played at an elite level this year, but I also think that there's a lot more to show in terms of can you maintain that level of success?
Yeah,
And if he
yeah,
does, you're going to have no choice but to call him elite.
yeah. He can't be a flash in the pan. He
Sure.
has to
You
maintain
can
it.
have an elite season. You can have an elite game.
Right.
I mean,
That
Wentz
doesn't
had
make you an
an
elite player.
He-
Willie Burton for the Sixers. Then he scored like 55
Yeah,
one night, and everybody's
yeah.
like, "Oh, he's the new guy.
Yeah.
This is gonna," and then he disappeared. I don't
Yes.
even know if he played in the league
Didn't
for another
I
couple
mean,
of
Wentz
years.
the same way. He had one good year and then just
Yeah,
fell off the face of
yeah,
the
he
earth,
had a fantastic 13 games.
and then fell off the face of
Yeah.
the earth. He got the back on road
Well,
quarterback.
injury played a part of that. Nick Foles, the Super Bowl, huge part in that, the mental aspect of it.
But as a professional athlete,
Well,
and adversity.
you know, they talked about this a little bit on the radio
I
yesterday or
do
today.
know that he came from what North Dakota,
North Dakota State.
and there was no one out there. It was
Yeah.
just him.
Listen to what they were
Buffalo.
talking about on the radio. He never had in every level in every class of school. He never got anything less than an A in class.
Good for you,
So
dude.
he no. Listen to what I'm
Neither
saying.
did I.
Yeah,
Listen,
it's like the NFL now.
listen to what I'm saying. So he never had that adversity in school where he had to overcome something. It just came. I don't know how much he studied or it came to him naturally, whatever. But the kid never got anything less than an A in class. He succeeded at every level of football that he ever played. And obviously, succeeded in college. He won a couple of championships, not every year there, because that's cool with a lot of them.
Wait, you're talking about Carson? Definitely.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That guy.
And he must have been good in high school. He did very well in the pro level until he got hurt. So this kid never had to deal with adversity on any level in school or in the football field. And then all of a sudden he gets to the NFL and he's doing well, and then he gets hurt. Somebody takes his place and wins the whole damn thing.
And he's
And it's the first one to do it in the city of Philadelphia. And they put up a statue to the guy outside the
Wouldn't that
stadium.
make you more pissed off and
No,
hungry
but
to go do it?
think about what he had to go through. He never had adversity at all,
All right,
ever.
good.
And now
That's-
he's got
Sorry.
now he's got to go to work every day when he was still here and look at the statue of this guy in front of this where he goes to work every day.
Shouldn't- that
It's
would-
not him. It's the guy that took his place and
It should
won the
piss him
championship.
off.
He doesn't have to. They come here on the side. He didn't have to go out of the.
It should piss you off to go want to do it yourself.
Well, different people handle adversity in a different manner. Not everybody handles it the same way. Some people get pissed off and get motivated. Some people get sulky and they mope the rest of their time and shy away
DJ's
from it.
not here. You shouldn't be talking about him like that.
About sulky and mopey.
Yeah.
So that was their point on the radio, and that's the point I'm trying to make. That different people handle adversity in a different way.
Oh, the radio likes to kiss butt too sometimes.
No, not all the time. They're
Yeah.
looking for ratings.
So not only that, but you're playing in a city that demands higher than more than what you're willing to give at times.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So
sure. Sure.
that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And I'm not excusing what happened with
I think
Wentz.
you
I
are.
mean, he kind of brought it upon himself because he got sulky and mopey about it instead of using it as a motivating factor. And I think it took him longer than we think to get over those injuries that he had. He wasn't ready the next year to play at a full 100%. I don't think so. I think it was the following year maybe he was because I think that back injury really did him in too. Back injuries can be a tricky thing.
And that what is it that he went on to?
Hmm?
I forget the name.
Locked
of it.
himself in a cabin for 4 days in the dark with nobody
Yes,
else.
He did.
And took
indeed.
drugs, and then he's trying to
Yes.
figure out what team, what somebody's higher power. Tell me what team to come back to.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
enough Carson Wentz.
What?
I was thinking the same thing.
That's enough Carson.
Yeah.
He's
I think Jalen Hurts is the complete opposite.
No, I agree on 1,000%. Yes.
Complete opposite.
Because look what happened to him. He had adversity at Alabama. He got benched at halftime in a national championship game, right?
Mhm.
And the guy that came in for him
One.
won, right? Oklahoma, they didn't win the national championship. More adversity. But he's a coach's son, and he's mature beyond his years. Everything about him exudes coach's son, mature beyond his years. The kid is mentally tough enough by far to play in this league and in this town.
Absolutely.
There's no question about it.
Mhm.
I have all for as far as the intangibles and the mental aspect for Jalen Hurts. I have all the confidence in the world that kid can handle whatever is thrown at him, no doubt, and he'll learn and get better from it.
Mhm. I do too.
all right. We'll go from a kid you have confidence in.
I actually did the whole show about the Sixers.
Yeah, I know. And I just get ready to. I'm jumping the Sixers. I don't want to talk about the Sixers. I want to get into the. I want to keep the mood somber.
Yeah, we're
DJ.
yeah.
I want to talk about the death of the franchise.
Pat Sweeney's getting on bated breath. For
Yeah.
this.
So, where do we even start with the Flyers?
It's all the
How has it gotten so bad? Like, growing up, Eagles and Flyers for me were neck and neck.
For sure.
It just depended on the season,
Mhm.
right? Now, I can name maybe 4 guys on the team.
I can name you the goalie, and that's it. And
I know where it
and
started.
I name you Carter
Wayne Simmons.
and Travis. And that's about it.
Been a while there, Nate.
I mean, this team it has a fan base that follows it no matter what.
Like
But
Bob.
even that fan base is starting to turn on them.
Starting to come down.
Yeah.
They had a season ticket holder meeting the other night or last week, and they booed Chuck and the coach. And if I'm coaching, I'm keeping my mouth shut. He should have stepped in there and said anything.
What
He
was that
should've let
Rangers
go.
thing?
Well, here.
Well, that's another thing. Like,
The Rangers came down and sold out the arena.
Like it literally was nothing but Ranger
Yeah.
fans.
amazing. There was a lot of blue.
Yeah.
New York fans travel. You know that.
Yeah.
You'll see Mets fans, you'll see Giants fans, but they don't take over. That stadium looks
That looked
more
like
blue than orange.
that looked like it was completely sold out, top and bottom deck of this blue with red and white.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that. Again, I've never seen Philly in any sporting event another fan base
There was
be more
some
than ours.
orange here and there, but like it looked like it was like a home game for the Rangers in Philly. Like they didn't like their stadium, like their Madison Square Garden on the renovation. They held a home game here. That's what it looked like.
That's crazy.
And it's a
So-
New York team. It's
Yeah.
one of the it's the
Yeah,
next
of
level.
all the
teams.
teams that did it, it was the
New York
freaking
Rangers.
Rangers.
Yeah, I think it started with the death of Ed Snyder. I mean, there goes your identity right there.
Yeah.
But
He can-
I don't want to interrupt guys. Right there. Why is the owner your identity? It should be somebody on the ice.
sure.
Now it's a friggin' mascot that's the identity.
It is.
Like that's a problem. And that's look,
I
I loved Snyder, right?
Right.
But he had the Flyer way of doing things that
Sure.
we saw just didn't work because
Yeah,
you got
there a
It was
while.
bringing
Yeah.
back
Yeah,
the
it was
old
dated.
guys, right?
yeah.
Wasn't it bringing back the old players to be
I was
GMs?
bringing back old players. It was big, tough guys, the muckers, the grinders. It's getting cool.
Yeah, I was-
And when the fight, when all these guys are just skating around us, when you got the Crosbys and then now the McDavids and these guys that are just
Zoom it
you
past
can't hit me.
Mhm.
You can't hit me. If you're coming near me, I'll have
I'm
this
fast enough.
have this puck off my stick into the guy standing next to or parked next to your net before you can even
Blank.
blink. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
We always
Like,
had
we've
the
seen
bullies. Right?
yeah,
They kept
like
that mentality.
like McDavid's just ridiculous. He's just unreal. Like, how fast he moves, how, like, the puck moves off his stick in the blink of an eye, like, there's always something he's doing that's just crazy.
I think the game of hockey's changed too. That doesn't help. I don't think it's as entertaining as it once was. I mean, I grew up watching guys like Dave Pullen, Rick Tocchet, growing up through the 90s. We had Lindros way of playing. Yeah, it was fighting, and then after a while they changed the rules. The game got quicker. I I think I think with Hextall there was a comment up there about Hextall ruining the team. Before that he took over and the team was ruined.
Yeah.
They were in cap hell where they are now. He got them out of cap hell. So I don't know how many phases there were to his plan, but it got old, and I think that's just a lack of ownership, a lack of leadership on the upper level there to kind of demand that type of respect of where the team needs to go and where it should be after a while, like drafting, making the right trades. Like this team's it's worse than what it was bad, right? You said the death of a franchise. I believe that it is worse than we all had originally thought because this team just doesn't have a strategy. They don't know where they're at. You didn't get rid of JVR. You should have got rid of
Any
him
pieces that
in
you
the
could've
summer. Sure.
Hayes was
Nothing.
another guy, right? That you heard that they could have got something for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had a I think he has a no trade clause.
Is that why?
JVR does not. So I just think that with JVR, he should have been gone a couple weeks ago. You overvalued that guy, and that's what scares me about this franchise is that you sit there and you're overvaluing these players to a point where they're untradeable. You are never going to get a second and third, which is what they were asking, rumored to have been asking. You're not going to get a second or a third. They waited to the last second to kind of pinch these teams that were in desperation mode, but by that time it was too late.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me the most about this team. Drafting has been horrible. Not horrible, but it's been bad. You have Travis Connect. You're going to see what Joel Farabee can be. Again, I think you overvalue Travis Sanheim by giving him that type of contract. But you have to give those people these contracts, or no one's going to play here. And that's how bad it is.
Who's Connect me? How long has he been here now?
At least
5 years?
Yeah,
4 or 5 years? And he had one really good season,
I think
and the other has been kind of like
yeah, I mean,
okay.
is he elite? No.
he's
Is he a guy?
average.
Is he a guy that you're going to go down there to watch the games?
No.
That's my thing. Like, they
No.
don't have a player, even with Giroux, like towards
Yeah.
the end
They
there.
have.
Like,
They don't have a player that makes me want to go down there and we just win or lose. We want to go down there and watch this guy.
Mhm.
They don't have that player.
Yeah,
There's no
Bob-
marquee player.
like Bob was saying out in the waiting area for this, he said they had the perfect opportunity to get Johnny Hockey. They just blew it. Like they just ignored him. They rather keep JVR and just not go after the young stars that are going to help you get fans back in the seats.
I mean, that was one of the biggest things you had to do was get rid of JVR. That was one of the things rumored that they had to do to sign a player like Johnny Hockey, and they didn't do it. I mean, and now you look at your goaltending situation. You have Carter Hart. You have the Harrison guy who stepped up and playing some decent hockey. But if you're not ready to win, you got to look in the trade. That's another player that I hate to say this. If you don't know where you're going and this is how this franchise is going to be, you got to get something for him now because at the when you really think about it, Carter Hart's been in how many years has he been in before connecting?
Yeah,
He was here in
probably-
so-
So,
I think
so
it
his
was-
ceiling is getting there,
Wasn't
and so you're going to have to.
his best year the COVID year, the bubble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to like, trade him off at some point. I'm sorry, but you gotta start rebuilding, and that's where this team is. You're not in win mode, retool. I'm so tired. They're so afraid of using rebuild because they were rebuilding when Hextall was here.
Yeah.
Rip the Band-Aid off. If you're gonna do it the right way, this franchise needs to look in the mirror and look who they have and get rid of the people dead weight like Chuck Fletcher. Get him out of here. That guy is he's a franchise killer. He did the same thing that he's doing to the Flyers in Minnesota. High long-term contracts that just destroy the cap. And you only give those contracts to certain types of players. And in my opinion, you gave it to Ristolainen, you gave it to Travis Sanheim. Who else? Who else? Who else on this team? It's just it bothers me that I would come out and say at the end of this year we're rebuilding, get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off, and then go on there. You're going to get flack either way. You're just taking it harder now because they're not trying to say like what they're doing. So to me, that's even worse. It shows that you have no direction as a franchise. You have no idea what you're doing. And now I see like the comments coming up, which are pretty good. Carter Hart will be traded, win a cup in Edmonton. That's a good spot to take them. They have a couple people that you trade for. I'm going off, but I just think that there was a comment before that one that I'm going to mention as well that Nate had up.
The Briere one.
Yeah, the Briere. A lot of people I think Briere would be like wouldn't be a bad GM, but then again, you got to get rid of this whole bringing back Flyers things. And I was on record as saying, remember when we were on here, Deke, and I was saying, bring Dave Poulin on as coach.
Yep.
And then someone was saying, you got to stop bringing old Flyers back. Well, I mean, to me, I'm on board now. Like, just got that. And Bobby Clark should have nothing to do with that upper level management.
Don't speak ill of Bobby.
Holmgren, gone. Get him out. Chuck Fletcher, gone. Get him out. Clean house. Bring in a whole new different team of executives that are in tune with the game today. And then you get rid of the mentality of, well, we're bringing on our Broad Street Bullies types of guys. Because those were the signings that they made in the summer. You bring in Brandon Lemieux, that's another thing. Oh, we're not going to be good. Let's make it entertaining. We'll just make 3 lines worth of fighters. And it's a new – there are loyal Flyers fans, and they are loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
But they're getting tired of this because they don't know what it's like to see the Broad Street Bullies play. They know this new game of hockey, and that's it. And you can't compete by bringing those types of players in. We look at some of these other teams like Edmonton, players like Sidney Crosby and those elite types. They need something like that where I watch these other teams play and they move the puck. The passing's nice. They have a nice power play. They can set it up and score. The penalty kill's there. That's what these elite teams do. Flyers aren't there, and they're not going to be there for a long, long time. I'm talking about anywhere from 4 to 6 years. Get ready because it's going to be long.
That is, yeah.
Sorry, I'm like,
no, you're. That was good there, Bob. And I would have to agree with everything you said.
Ben Tortorella's not.
No, he's not the right coach for this team.
He's a good coach, but not when your team is in the middle of a rebuild and you have no identity.
Yeah, he's not. He's not the type of coach that they need.
Like Bob said earlier, too. He's a win-now coach.
Right.
He's the coach that when you have all the pieces set in place, you're ready to win, you go get a cup, he's the coach you go out and hire. Not a coach when you're trying to rebuild all these young guys.
Or is he the kind of coach you get to the end of the season and he's like, see this locker room? We just went through the season. I can tell you which guys don't have the marbles and you shouldn't want them on this team.
Oh, yeah, he's good for that, too.
Yeah.
And he's the one that would speak his mind. He would have no problem.
And he may go out the door with them.
Right.
But at least you give ownership an idea of, all
right,
right, you can't build around these guys. These guys are not team guys. You can put them all on your fifth line, fine, but you can't have these guys as key pieces of your team.
Can I ask a question? Because I honestly don't even watch hockey. I haven't watched hockey since at least 2020.
you got to get out.
Who is like the star player on the Flyers? Like, I'm going to be honest.
There's none. That's what
I was saying.
I
don't even know who. Like, all I know is Carter Hart and Travis Grant. That's it. I don't know anyone else on that team.
Wayne Simmons.
There's guys like Atkinson should have been one of the top guys, right?
He's hurt.
And he's
hurt.
Cam Atkinson.
So they have guys that could be, good players, exciting players to watch.
I did. I was excited
they
when we
don't
got
have
him,
them.
and then this franchise just went down the gutter.
There's too many years of just mediocrity, and I don't know why it's taking this long, but it's just taking way too long.
Look at the Bruins. What are the
Well, I think your father, Jim, just mentioned something too a couple minutes ago. He said, poor drafting, and that's really what it is right there. So when you look at the product on the ice and you're blaming those players and you're blaming a coach like Tortorella, you have to at some point you got to look to ownership, and that's Comcast, and
Yeah.
then you got to look down at who they have in place, and maybe it's time to look up in that area where you need to improve. You've changed coaches several times over the past couple years. Our captain, the old captain, is gone because there was no accountability on ice, and I don't think there's any accountability throughout the organization,
Well,
and that's going to be bad.
Why is a TV company and like a company of its own owning a sports team? Like,
It's not out of the
Diversify.
ordinary.
Diversify their portfolio. They don't care.
I know they don't. They could
It's
give
not
two shits.
It's not selling out, but it's still a moneymaker.
They're still getting money
So,
from it. Like,
They're in it to make
They
money.
got the TV
they
contract.
got a lot of money from that Rangers night when they sold out. So they don't care.
And it's not out of the ordinary to have a corporation own a team. I want to say, I think the NFL is the only league where there has to be an individual who owns a majority of the
Except
team,
for the Packers.
except for the Packers.
The
And
Packers
they're
the Packers
the Eagles had the same setup at one time where you could buy stock in the team, but that was
50 years ago.
probably 80 years ago.
Let's make it 200 years ago.
Yeah.
But
when he was
other than the Packers, because for some reason they got the exception. Other than the Packers, I think the NFL is the only league where there has to be one majority owner, meaning that majority owner has to own at least 51% of the team.
So is there a silver bullet? Is that it?
In all this,
Sell the team?
The silver line.
No, I'm saying a silver bullet. Something. There's no silver lining. Is there something?
Silver bullet.
Like, what do
you mean silver bullet, as in that's what kills a werewolf?
That's what kills this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
We're looking for a silver bullet to take
I'm
out
not
the
looking
werewolf.
for a Coors Light. I'm not looking for what is good. I'm saying what is it that kills this monkey on their backs and
I think
gets his team turned around?
But that's the thing, Jim. I don't think it's gonna happen. The things that they need to do with Comcast being in charge, I don't think that they're going to need. I don't think they're going to. Let me rephrase that. They're not going to do the things necessary to make this team adequate.
So it's sell
again.
the team. That's what it is.
I
That's the
think
only
that they're going to
solution.
be because I think their status quo. They have no idea on how to hire
I agree
a
with you.
president of hockey operations. You know what I mean? They have no idea. So I think that that's one of the only things. And sooner or later, we talked about this in the green room out there, that, eventually you're going to hear those fans say, sell the team, sell the team. It's going to get, those voices are only going to get louder and louder if you don't take a look in the mirror and make those changes. I don't think they're going to happen, and it's going to be a long time. But there was a Pat Sweeney made a good point.
I'm sorry. DJ's just retarded.
Is he saying?
His comments are just hilarious. He called you guys cowards.
DJ, I would need input on brackets. You're an idea man. You give me no feedback.
Here you go. Sorry,
Should
Bob.
we
Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's all good. Patrick Sweeney just, he's making some really good points on the live feed, and start firing Fletcher. I agree with that, and I just think that you need a hockey mind in charge of hockey, and not dated ones.
Right. The guys that are in charge now, as much as we love them as players, they're dinosaurs in the front office, and their mentality is from 50 years ago, and it just doesn't work in today's hockey.
You were
Yeah. And
I'd say we start a petition.
in the front office. If they're not going to sell the team, what they need to do is they need to hire one guy to make all hockey decisions. And start with that guy.
Perfect guy for you.
Who?
Claude Giroux.
But he's still playing.
Oh shit!
And have him hire or at least make suggestions on who to hire as far as the front office is concerned. Because obviously these Comcast people, number one, they don't care. Number two, they don't know what they're doing. And until either they do that where they hire somebody to make all their hockey decisions, or they sell the team, I think this team is going to be in the same position from year to year to year to year.
It's not changing anytime soon. It's going to get worse
Yeah.
before it gets better.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't think hitting rock bottom for the team. I don't see
think
that.
they already
helping them.
have hit rock bottom.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, they have.
I don't think they have.
They don't have. I mean, they're still.
There is.
Believe it or not, they're in the play for the wild card.
Right, they're not in last place.
Yeah,
They're not in
every
last
team with
place.
3 make it into this the playoffs.
Bullshit.
Every team
You
makes it.
suck.
You're
You
right.
suck.
But
Get out.
Hey, Andrew, at one time there were 25 teams in the league, and I think 19 of them made the playoffs.
Well, and at that point, let's make it all 25.
All right, playoff talk. How about the Sixers? We'll sneak it in real quick. Real quick. They got 17 games left. They're going to make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Let's not joke about that. Do they have a shot in the playoffs?
No.
Raise your
No.
hand if you think they make it past the first round.
No, they
Yeah,
make it past the
first
first
round.
round. Yeah.
for sure.
I made a bet that if the Sixers don't make it past the second round, I will shave my head.
That was
Wow.
not a good bet. That was not a good bet. When's the last
Who'd
time
you
they
make
made
this
it?
bet with?
I will not say.
Somebody at school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
Wow, you got a lot of confidence in
You
them.
think they're making it past the second round?
No.
what happens if they do?
Oh, you just want to
no.
shave your head?
Yeah.
They have some tough games left in that 17 game stretch.
They
had like
did-
8 or 9
Yeah, but
top 10 teams. I
they
think
did fantastic on that 5-game road
Yeah,
trip.
they did.
They did.
I mean, they had that huge win in Milwaukee. They had,
Is that the 49-8 Harden game?
No, that was the
That was the come from behind game, right?
that was the come from behind game.
The Harden game was the
20 assist one. Is that
Yeah.
the one you're talking about? That was in
That was another
was that
game.
the
he
Pacers
had.
game.
What he had? Did it was like he had 20 and 20,
no,
right?
no. It would have been the Minnesota game. No, he was out the Minnesota game.
Yeah, Minnesota was the other.
So
night.
it was the Pacers
game.
because Embiid sat like the whole fourth quarter in that game.
So DJ says they're making the conference
Yeah.
final. They're not making
I
the
wanted to
conference final.
address that.
Just depends who they
They're
play.
go- it doesn't matter whether they finish 2 or 3 because Boston's going to finish 2 or 3. So they're going to have to play Boston in the second round.
No,
No, they
Yeah.
can catch
Boston's
Boston.
going to finish one.
I don't think Boston's
No, they're not
going
going to catch Milwaukee.
No,
You
I don't think so either.
Milwaukee's. You don't think so?
no.
Milwaukee just won like 17 games in a row.
And if the,
16.
and right now Miami's pretty much locked into the 7th seed.
Yeah.
So if we finish 2, we play Miami in the first round.
We
can
can
beat-
beat Miami. We can beat Miami.
we can beat Miami. They don't have PJ Tucker anymore. We're good. We have him now.
Neither do we.
Yeah, but they got Jimmy. They still got Jimmy.
Yeah, no, we can beat. I'm not
Did we
really
just
worried
lose
about
Miami?
I think we beat
Yeah, but
Miami.
he walked. He
semis.
did some automatic shot. Like those losses, they lost to Jimmy on a last second shot. They lost to Tatum on the last second shot. So it's not like these games we were out of these games. You know,
Yeah.
they've been playing. I mean, I think Pat, Sweeney said they've been playing good ball,
They had
Yeah.
to.
but they
Yes.
have for them to have a shot.
They need.
They have to finish in the top 2
Yeah.
seeds, 1 or 2. They cannot.
No,
They
I think they need top 3 because
well, they're 3
Boston,
now.
Boston's gonna be 2. I think it's gonna go Bucks, Boston. So we're gonna have to get.
We're 4 games out of first, and I think like 2. No, we're 4. I'm sorry, we're 4 games out of
Behind.
second, and then I forget how many games out of first. So they have to catch. They have to catch Boston. They have
Yeah.
to be the second seed.
And Boston's about to sweep us too.
We're a game and a half behind Boston.
Is it a game and a half?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we're
have to.
behind
Game-
Milwaukee.
We have to
Boston
have
had
ball. It has to be
46.
home court against Boston for them to
Bal-
have a shot.
Well, I know
Right game
Boston's 3-0 against us this
Boston
year.
has 46.
I don't know. When I
43.
looked yesterday, maybe I don't have last night's game. Did Boston play last night?
I guess I'll check.
They
it.
just lost
46.
3 straight games. Like Boston's bad right now. They just blew a 20-point lead, I think, to the Nets.
Sixers haven't been playing well either.
Yeah, they have.
The last few games they have.
Yeah.
Going,
They
in,
have the last few.
going into the All Star break,
They
they
were
weren't playing
horrible.
great.
But I think the Celtics been losing like bad teams. Like the
I just-
Nets,
what
they
about this
lost
team
to-
gives you guys that much confidence?
I don't have.
I don't have
because I don't know if Harden can do it in the playoffs.
That's
Yeah,
where I'm
Like-
at.
Like I love Harden 49 and 8, 20 assists, but can I see it when we
I
need
don't
it?
think that Doc Rivers is able to coach in the playoffs after the first round.
So same old story.
They're gonna get to the first. They're gonna get past whoever they play in the first round, get to the second round, take it to 6 or 7 games, get blown out in one of those 2 games, and we're all gonna say fire Doc. Doc's gonna be back next year. It's gonna be the same story.
He might have to wrap up soon, Jim. Deep just opened up another bottle.
He's getting not a bottle.
He's getting comfortable.
We got time.
I heard that. I was like, oh shit. Here we go.
I
This is
did
another 20
see
minutes.
him lean over to it. I was like, what's he doing there? DJ's been poking all night about brackets. We're trying to figure out brackets. In honor of DJ, it sounds like we're going to do a bracket of fair. But we're gonna figure out what that's going to be. We're thinking like worst Eagles draft picks, worst losses.
With the seating,
Well, I
get the
need-
1 seed.
I
Jalen
need some
Reagor?
suggestions. Like,
Jalen Reagor to get the
this
1
guy's an
seed?
idea guy, then he just steps off. Like,
Yeah.
just went through our group chat about this is what we should do, and I'm the only one that wrote some names down. I think
I think he's better as a troll.
we'll do.
Yeah, He likes to poke the bear.
He's got troll hair actually. If you look at it,
I mean, he's got
if you
troll
shake
thighs, right?
shake his head, I'm sure it'll all puff up like a troll.
What is he, about 5'4"?
So we'll think of the tournament does start this week. So we'll have a bracket. We'll try to do something fun. Yeah, like our reigning bracket champ, as my dad always likes to remind us, is Claire Dunphy. I don't think anybody's beating Claire Dunphy. But we will have.
there it is.
We'll
The
find a bracket.
obligatory Claire Dunphy.
Yes. He spelled it wrong too.
If anyone was wondering, the Flyers are down 1-0 to the Hurricanes in the third.
All right, DJ, get the whole bracket completed and submitted by the end of the weekend.
You're on.
We need time to get it together and figure out how we're going to run it through socials. So keep an eye on our socials. We'll have a nice bracket set up at some point, starting with the true March man. What else
What, for next week?
for next week?
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but what else? I'm going to close down the show. You got anything else to say?
Nah.
He said, "Oh, what? It's time to go. I just started drinking."
Yeah, I just cracked a new one, man. Come on now.
Still no word on Painter.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting thing, right? Everybody was so high on him, and
Yeah, they pull him back, and you haven't heard
so was it arm, elbow? What's the
Elbow,
injury?
I think.
elbow.
Yeah, okay.
And Ranger Suarez got lit up this week.
Did he?
Yep.
Who does the play clock affect the most on this Phillies team? Whether it be batters or pitchers.
I think
it
it'll
goes
be
both
Bryce
ways.
Harper when he comes back, because that dude takes forever in between it.
I like it.
I like it too.
I like the
There's a
pitch
lot
count,
of
the clock.
gamesmanship going on.
Yeah, there
Between
is.
pitchers
It's
and
kind
batters.
of growing on me,
Yeah.
but
I
I'm not
know it
there.
by heart now. He does his gloves. He steps in, he touches the ground, he fixes his cup, knees go to the side, and he gets ready. He gets ready. I think he's going to have to speed it up. If I was him, I would practice speeding it up.
He's going to have
He's
to
got
knock.
time to do it.
He's going to have to knock down the routine somehow,
We
and then
switched
he's got to
topics.
bless the plate with his bat.
Jim, let me get another beer. Switch topics.
He's got to hit the plate with the bat like what, 5 times?
Yeah, I just know. It's just weird. I just know the part where he uses 2 fingers to touch the ground and his knees go to the side and he fixes his cup.
Right.
That's every time he's up the bat.
Doesn't he tuck the bat under his cup too at one point when he's some of his
Yeah.
gloves?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's gonna be. But I guess back to the question: who is it? Is just Harper? You think at the plate or any other guys? I mean, Schwarber just gets up there and puts a bat on his shoulder, right?
Yeah. It just gets ready to swing.
Nobody
Is
else.
Turner a fidget? He looks like a guy that could be a fidget.
Turner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really watched him since he played out in L.A.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I
really.
think it can affect the pitchers because the pitchers like to slow down the game. They want to be in control of the game because the game doesn't start until they throw the ball. So, they want to check that base runner. They want to throw the ball over a couple times, maybe step off once. They have their own routine also, especially when a runner's on the plate or on the base. I think the thing where it's really going to affect the pitcher is when he doesn't like a pitch that's coming at him from the catcher and he has to shake it off. He's not going to be able to shake off 2, 3, 4 pitches. He's going to get one shake off and that's it. And he's going to have to throw the ball. So I think that's where it's really going to affect the pitcher is is not being able to shake off. Because how many times you watch a pitcher shake off multiple pitches and finally get one that he likes and he throws whatever he's throwing? He's
So
not
is
going to
that
be
a
able
ball?
to do that.
So is that just they just take the ball at that point? Like what happened?
No, I would never just take the ball. I would.
No. I
would
mean, like what
throw.
happens? Like so he shakes off the pitches and they don't get to a point to one
It's a strike, right? Or not a strike.
It's a
It-
ball.
It's a ball.
Yeah, it's a ball, right?
No, I would never do that. I would throw something up there, especially if you got 3 balls already. You got to get something up to the plate. Yeah, I would throw whatever the pitch was called, last one, and take my chances. Hope either he swings and misses or somebody makes a play.
You know what they say about shaking it off, right?
Do it more than twice.
It's playing with yourself.
Right.
Only old men
Right,
laugh at that
right,
joke,
right.
right?
Nobody else is
Nobody
listening.
else
Damn.
laughs.
Not a peep
Yeah,
out of anybody.
all the youth are on their phone,
Yeah.
and all just the old guys are sitting there joking, cracking
Giggling,
up.
Crack it up.
giggling.
All right, we'll close that on that jerk off talk. See, that's how you got to get their attention, Nate.
I just Ubered another beer to the door. I Ubered some beers. I've got
All right, folks. We talked a little free agency. We talked about the death of the Flyers. We touched on the Sixers. I think we hit it all. Little Phillies at the end there. Let's get ready for March Madness. Let's get ready for free agency. And let's happy birthday, Nate. How about that? We'll close it on a happy birthday.
Are we
Nate.
singing?
You can sing if you
No.
want. I'm not a
The
singer.
lights off.
I'm not a singer.
Come on.
He's gonna cut it off.
Yeah, we would close out. We started singing.
Hey, let me get another beer in me before we sing.
Can you just shut the lights? All right, folks. Thanks for hanging out once again tonight on another episode of the Say the Brood First podcast. We will see you next week. Until then, be excellent to each other.
First.
Do you want another beer? You want another beer?